We've got preseason hockey. We're going to talk about the split squad games, look ahead to the Ducks game, and some very important injury updates on today's Locked On Mammoth.
You are Locked On Mammoth, your daily podcast on the Utah Mammoth, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everyone, and welcome in once again to Locked On Mammoth. I'm veteran NHL voice Tom Callahan, joined by longtime team analyst Robyn Leaño, and together we're the dynamic duo that brings you this podcast 5 days a week. Locked On Mammoth, thanks for making us your first listen each and every single day when it comes to the Utah Mammoth hockey team. Little later today in the offing, coming out a little later on a Monday with this, allows us to look back at both split squad games. We're also going to take a look ahead to the Ducks game tonight and some big-time injury updates coming out of Robyn. What was 2 games in the city of Denver in 2 different buildings. One was the home of Denver University, the other the home of the Colorado Avalanche. So really, we got a chance to see a lot of different players in the lineup yesterday. But if you start with the bottom line, Utah lost both of those games. The first one 5-1, the second one 3-2. Want to start with your thoughts overall on seeing the Mammoth hit the ice for the first time in the preseason?
You know, there was a decent amount of excitement. I was glad to have, first and foremost, Tom, I was glad to have hockey back, right? I felt so good to have hockey back and be able to watch hockey and see how everything were going. But, you know, I will say there were a couple of highs. There were a couple players I was really excited to see and a couple exciting moments. But there were also a lot of things, Tom, in which I either was just shaking my head and I'm like, this is not what I want to see. Is it game 1 of the preseason? Sure. But we're also talking about a team that's supposed to compete. It's hard to debate when it comes to a split squad, but we'll talk about that. We'll kind of get a little more in depth as we kind of go further in the show. But there's but here on this podcast, Tom, what we do is like we're the ones that are out here like nickel and dime and everything and you know, taking everything so you don't have to.
That's very true. And Robyn, I will say this, we're going to talk about the Anaheim game preview here in a little while. I expect that to be much more of an NHL looking lineup because when you have a split squad, really, you're trying to get a look at as many different players as you can in as many different roles as you can that you think they may be a fit for. So, but within the context of that, so, all right, we already know that there were 40 different guys wearing a Utah jersey last night, 45, whatever.
And by the way, it's like some of like the top guys weren't even in there, right? Like Dylan Guenther and Clayton Keller and Lawson Crouse and a few others, like they weren't there.
Right. And that's by design. I know some fans were asking yesterday, where are these guys? They're either at home or they're just sitting there watching the game in Denver because they probably went straight to Anaheim. That's by design.
Yeah.
So not everybody's going to play every game. In fact, the Mammoth have so many this year. We talked about it, 8, including the split squad games, really 6, what I would call real preseason games, I guess. Robyn, that's a lot, you know, and you go to your veteran players, you go to your top guys, especially your starting goaltender, you talk to veg, you say, hey,
how much
time do you need?
Yep. How much do you need to get ready? And for these vets, you know, so for some of these guys, they don't need a whole lot. Dylan Guenther was, I think, an exception. He's not a vet, but I feel like for him, it's more of like they still trust him enough. He's kind of been through enough seasons that they can understand that he can be open about what he needs and what he wants when it comes to getting something set up. And a lot of it really was just getting a look at some of these young guys. Logan Cooley was involved. We're going to talk about Logan Cooley a little bit more later, but Logan Cooley was involved in these games, Tom, because, well, he's still a young player who's figuring out maybe who his line mates are going to be, right? I mean, you got a chance to see him with JJ Peterka. That's pretty cool, but
yeah, it's, you know what, that's part of the interesting / exciting part right now is watching the mix and match with the lines. Certainly nothing out there was set in stone yesterday. Robyn, I want to start with the high points. Yeah, they lost both games. but there were players I was still impressed with.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to jump to the second game.
Okay.
To talk about this player first because, and I'll loop back, but this guy, you and I have put such an onus on this player. There's such a spotlight on this player. And not once, but twice did he get out there, drop the mitts, stick up for a teammate, try to show that he brought his jam. And I'm talking about Lawson Crouse, which is why we're also going to have to talk about Logan Cooley. But Lawson Crouse, I thought from the start, he's one of a couple of guys I'm going to identify as hungry. I think Lawson Crouse came in looking hungry.
Hey, there's a reason why we call him the sheriff, right? I love him. Like I like that we saw that. Got a chance to see that. By the way, I did list Lawson earlier in the show about teams, players we didn't see. That was a misspoke. I meant more there. You understood the point I was trying to make with players we didn't see. There was like some of the top guys we didn't see, but yes, you're right. Lawson Crouse, he knows how important of a season this is. He knows he needs to take a step forward in his leadership. And I just really loved how, as you said, when things were getting a little bit dirty out there, Lawson Crouse was able to reset the tone and be like, you are keeping your hands off my guys. Like, these are my teammates. You stay off them.
There was a point in that game, Zakhar Bardakov hit Logan Cooley from behind. I don't like that hit. I don't like that hit at all. Mm-mm. And Crouse made him answer for it. But I also don't like that Cooley left the ice, did not return in the game. I hate when guys try to make a name for themselves in preseason by blowing somebody up or running a guy, hitting him from behind. Bardakov did exactly that. And I think that's garbage. That's why I hate so many preseason games.
No, you're absolutely right. And I think what we're seeing with that is the very problem with a split squad game. With a split squad, what you're saying is you're trying to get as many players out as possible, especially players who very well know that this might be their only shot to make a name for themselves, might be their only shot to do that. So when you put a player like him up against a star who just trying to get warmed up in Logan Cooley, this is what happens, right? They play a little bit dirty. They try to be physical, do whatever they can do, so that hit happens. And I'm with you. I saw that hit, and I did not like that hit. I don't think I can find a single person among Mammoth media or among Mammoth fans or whatever agree that was an okay hit. Like, that was not a good hit. And like, I even saw, I think it was Cole Bagley who said it, and pretty much said that he applauds Lawson Crouse for just going straight like ham and just like protecting him after that point. Because
you have to.
Because you need to be able to show like, yo, my stars, my guys, especially our stars, these guys are off limits. You do not touch them without facing the wrath.
You've got to protect your stars. So, and I was happy to see, and Krause's overall effort, I thought, was very good yesterday. Mm-hmm. So I like that. Sticking with that same game, Rob, and I also want to talk about the power play, because I thought the power play looked very good. They were moving the puck really well. I actually like Yamamoto in front of the net. I thought he filled in very well and was good. He was moving around. There was a lot of movement in the power play. Even though they didn't, no one's going to cash in on every attempt, but they did get one power play goal by your boy Danny Goals. With a sweet move to walk off that left wing wall. I mean, just pretzeled that defenseman, got into open space, and a great shot, quick release, beat the goalie. Really impressive goal. If you haven't seen it, go look that one up. I'm sure it's everywhere on social. But I really like the look of that power play unit. And I know that's not even the real power play unit. Obviously, we're missing some guys.
And see, I think that's among the cool things is what we see is, like, if you want to make a name for yourself, like, as someone who's fighting for a spot, that's how you do it. That is how you do it.
That will get you noticed. It absolutely did. It did. There's one other guy I want to talk about who was on that power play unit. We also have injury updates we want to talk about. Plus, we're going to preview the Ducks game. We're going to talk about the other split squad game. We've got a lot to cram into this episode, so stick around. And today's show brought to you by Monarch Money. You know, most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why there's Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or on your phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. If you're putting off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you. Monarch does the heavy lifting. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. You can also maximize your investments. When you're using Monarch Money, you can increase your savings rate. It gives you the way to review all these things easily. And importantly, it's built for use with your partner or your financial advisor if you so choose. It helps you keep that clear view of your financial health week to week and in the long run. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use our code LOCKEDONNHL at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. It's down there in the comments too, so go ahead, or in the description, I should say. But if you forget, it's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with our code LOCKEDONNHL. Tom Callahan, Robyn Leaño here with you, Locked On Mammoth. Hey, hit that subscribe button right now. Go ahead, do it. We're going to wait because we have so much hockey to talk about. We're going to be just so busy this preseason. It's crazy. We are crushed with hockey. Tom. This week, yeah, I know. It's nuts. We have so much to talk about, but that's okay. We have a lot of things. At some point, Robyn, I don't even know if we're going to get to it before the season starts, but I would like to talk about Mammoth Plus, which is different from Jazz Plus, which is different from SEG Plus, just to kind of talk about the confusion there. But that's how we're watching the games. We'll get into all that. Robyn, I want to finish up with that second game. There was one other player I wanted to mention. I want to get your thoughts on this too. By the way, if you have thoughts on players that impressed you or that didn't think were so hot, throw them in the comments. So we could talk about that later, and we'll keep an eye on them, of course, throughout the preseason. But Robyn, big number 50, Sean Durzi. Yeah. I actually really liked Durzi in the first game.
Absolutely. And I feel like you needed a guy like, a guy like Durzi with the kind of mixed into that team. I think Durzi's out there showing, the kind of like why he is he not only a top pairing or top 4D, but he's showing why he is a leader on this team.
Yes, absolutely. He had his head up. He was playing smart. Defensively, he was hustling, came back a couple times to break up some plays. I really liked what I saw out of Durzi early, which, of course, coming off of last year, I feel like Durzi's probably got a bit of a burr under the blanket anyway. Feels like he has a little something to prove. And maybe a lot of these guys who miss time.
How many of these guys don't? Right. It feels like it's just that insane.
Yeah, it's really, when you have a whole team with something to prove, this could be really interesting in a very good way. Robyn, let's go back to the first game, unless there was anybody you wanted to mention out of game number 2.
No, not that I can think of in the immediacy right now.
Game number 1 was a little more frustrating. It's kind of why I left it for last, the 5-1 loss. There wasn't a whole lot where I thought that the Mammoth got up off the mat.
There were some good flashes, but the problem is they're just minor flashes, and they were all earlier in the. I would say most of them were in the first half of the game. Once the second half kicked in, I was like, nope, this game's done.
I did think, especially early, I thought Carcone looked good. He's another guy I thought looked hungry because he's got something to prove.
Carcone did. I feel like Ginla had some really good had some good looks. And I have one that I want to add. I saw this a very specific moment that it led to the Avalanche first goal. So it's obviously not a good thought if you want to put it this way, but in the moments leading up to it, I want to shout out one player because I feel like he did what he could given the circumstance. And honestly, I think it was like it looked like a very fluke goal. I didn't even know where it was for a moment on that one. But Baldwin, right? I want to point out to you that he lost his stick, right? He had a broken stick. So he was like, he couldn't really do much defending in that moment. But what he did, though, was he was essentially scanning throughout the entire ice, and he was moving his body as best he could to kind of keep those lane blocked. To me, Tom, that is good defensive awareness. That, of course, only one player isn't going to make the whole defense, and end up helping that defense and help that line defense. But to me, that was a good sign for me. I was like, okay, like I feel like you did what you could, and you did it honestly pretty well.
That is a good point. That's a moment within the game that I think a lot of the fans on a 201 or a 301 level may have noticed. But for maybe some newbies, you think, oh, well, broken stick. Do you go to the bench right away? No, not when the puck's in your zone. You try to stay in. If a defenseman breaks a stick, he gets it from a forward.
And
go ahead.
Using that, and it's using, again, as I mentioned, the vision too. Like you can see him looking around, seeing where the action is, and moving his body and kind of figuring it away, like towards in an area that would be able to block those open lanes.
Yeah, no, that takes a lot of awareness, and it's cool to see in a young player. Hopefully that shows some continued development there. That is great to see that defensive awareness. That is not something that a lot of young players have. They have to learn it over time, and so the fact that that's already where he's at with his defensive game is very reassuring. That said, that broken stick leads to a power play goal, and Robyn, in both games, I know it's the preseason. I know it's split squad. I know it was the first 2 games of the year.
Defensive naps.
In both games, they took a nap. Again, the first game, the nap resulted in 3 goals in under 2 minutes. The second game, the nap resulted in going from leading 2-1 to trailing 3-2 and losing by that score.
See, Tom, you and I joked about here on the Locked On Mammoth podcast being pro nap. We're pro nap when you're not in a game.
Right.
We're pro nap before a game, maybe between like practice and or whatever, but not in the game.
That kills me. It's so difficult. They got to get rid of the naps. There's some other shortcomings. I don't want to get too big into the shortcomings because, again, split squad game 1. We're not here to harp on it. Now we're going to talk about a Ducks preview. That's the most important thing to get to. And those injury updates. I promise you those injury updates. We're going to tell you about that as well, because down the middle, it's looking a little thin right now. And we're going to talk about all that for that Ducks preview as well. So stick around.
And today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I use FanDuel for just about all my sports betting because I can do just about everything on it, from player props to same-game parlays or even jumping in live as the action unfolds. It just makes watching the game more exciting. And again, sometimes I just like to take a look at what I had on my fantasy lineup, double down, and say, you know what? I think Christian McCaffrey is going to go for 200-plus yards. I think that whoever else is going to just have this one monster game. I'm going to double down on that and see if I can, make a little bit of quick extra money. It just makes a lot more energy to my Sundays, makes it a lot more exciting. So are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app today by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet.
Tom Callahan, Robyn Leaño, Locked On Mammoth, 5 days a week coming your way. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every single day when it comes to the Utah Mammoth. And thanks to our everydayers. You guys have been here for a while. You know the preseason rhetoric. Honestly, at the end of the day, I don't care if they win a game in preseason or not. That is how I feel about preseason. It doesn't matter if you win. I want to see certain things happen. And we've seen some of the good things happen that Robyn and I have pointed out. Robyn, tonight against the Ducks, though, this is the first look we're going to have at an NHL really kind of lineup.
It's a more complete team. Yeah.
However, with giant, gaping, stupid opportunity in the middle of the ice, because Logan Cooley, who did not return in that game yesterday in Denver, is now day-to-day with an undisclosed injury. So we don't even know what the deal is with him. But wait, there's more. Jack McBain and Barrett Hayton, guess what? Also day-to-day, undisclosed injuries. Oh my goodness, Robyn. Hayton, McBain, and Cooley. There is a chasm.
That is your
in the middle of the ice.
Those are your 1, 2, and 3C.
Yep. Time to step up. Who wants it?
I mean,
who wants it?
There are players who have been able to act as center. Nick Schmidt has a history of playing at center. He did that with the Arizona Coyotes years ago. Lawson Crouse has had a couple times playing at center. So these guys can move back in, because to me, I think you get those veterans who have played center before to be able to get back in there, because they're at least able to be quote generals on the ice, right? They can kind of help quarterback the play and tell the wingers, all right, I need you to move here, I need you to do that, and kind of help bring things together. That's what we need to see. Is it going to help? Is it going to loosen things up on the wings? Yes, but that allows you to get those guys who might want to get a chance to get an extra look. Maybe you get, if whether or not Ginla gets his next look, or Baldwin or whoever, if they want to get their shot, it's going to be on the wing, but at least it's something.
I actually would, just for this game, try to put Ginla in the middle and just see how he handles it.
You're gonna have him on. You're gonna have him up high on the 1, or you're gonna have him as number 2.
I would put him in the 1. Okay. I would put Ginla in the 1. I would put him up there with Keller and either Peterka or Keller and whoever, Gunther. I mean, whoever you want to put on the wings. But I would give Ginla the 1C. It's the preseason. Doesn't count in the regular wins and loss column. So I just give him a shot against the Ducks, who, by the way, have already played a preseason game. They lost 3-1 to the LA Kings. Nestorenko was the only guy who scored for the Ducks in that one. So, Robyn, the other good news tonight, though, for Mammoth fans, I know I'm excited about this, I'm sure you are too, is the debut of Nate Schmidt. Schmidt is expected to be out there tonight. So this is awesome. I'm excited for that.
You know what's really funny? I was listening to both broadcasts, and they just talked, like, a couple times there when they were talking about Nate Schmidt, and they just talked about how he's just he's the funniest guy on the team right now, because he just loves. He's the kind of guy that cracks jokes. I mean, are we surprised, Tom? And we saw his opening press conference, right? And he was already cracking jokes with all the media.
Yeah, no, he absolutely was. And I mean, we've got so much to talk about and break down, and everything that's been going on this week. I think we've lost that a little bit in the shuffle of hey, can't wait to see the impact of the new ads. And I'm super excited. I mean, obviously I'm excited for Peterka, but I'm actually pretty excited to see what kind of influence Nate Schmidt's going to have on the ice, off the ice. I think he's going to be a really solid ad for this team. This is going to be sneaky under the radar good. I'm telling you.
We, Tom, have on this show have been talking time and time again about this team having needed to bolster the blue line, and there's a lot of unproven things still done. I mean, we talked about how it's pretty much full, but there still is an unproven aspect to Nate Schmidt. But at the same time, he is that's only unproven with this team. We haven't seen him with this squad, but he is proven that he has a Stanley Cup. He's got Stanley Cup, pedigree. He knows what it takes to win, and we kind of already know what he's like. So it'll be really, really fun to watch and observe.
Maybe he is the key to getting them to stop napping. You never know. I hope he is. I really do. We'll see. We will see tonight.
You need someone, honestly, I think, Tom, you need someone on that blue line who's got a loud voice. I think Nate Schmidt can be one of those players. And one of the other players who Tom we've already mentioned is Sean Durzi. I feel like Sean Durzi, he certainly is one of those players who is loud. He will speak his mind and do what it is, and I love him for that.
Yeah, absolutely looking forward to that. I can tell you that much. So, Robyn, anything else you want to add into this one here before we put a bow on it and put this one out right before the Ducks and the Mammoth take the ice tonight?
No, just be out, look for it, and again, don't overanalyze. That's what we're here for, right? We'll overanalyze. Just out enjoy the hockey's back, right? We're glad that we're able to experience hockey again, professional hockey again, and just have some fun with it.
Yes, absolutely. And that's going to be the best part of it here is seeing the team grow together. There's a lot of moving parts that they have to put together. So hopefully they're going to be able to do that. All right. If you want to reach out to us on social media, Robyn, where can they find the show?
Everywhere on social media. You can find us at Locked On Mammoth, at Locked On Mammoth. I primarily manage the Twitter account. I'm active there just about every single day. You should check out our latest tweet when I joked. Maybe you guys want to go ahead and answer my latest tweet. All you gotta do is just check it out. You can go ahead and check it out over there. I'm personally at Robyn_Leaño.
You can find me on Blue Sky at Tom Talks and on Twitter at Callahan on Air. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Hey, can't wait to drop the puck here. Ducks and Mammoth coming up in just a little bit. Don't forget to let us know what you think, and we're going to be right back at it again tomorrow, looking back at this Ducks game. So buckle up, get ready. The preseason is in motion, and we are closing in on NHL regular season hockey. Thanks for joining us on Locked On Mammoth.